Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Heather and we are a fun, fabulous sewing channel. Today we're doing a brand new tutorial, and you guys, we're still with the water. I caught a cold. I did. It's kind of kicking my butt a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And my voice, whew, suffering a little. I am. But today we're making a brand new release. We're making the Amelia Bag by Divine Fash Clothing. And are you guys ready for her? She is so cute. Okay, let me explain. These bottoms I am obsessed with. Look, it's like it sits. The bottom doesn't touch. It's so cool. It is an intermediate pattern, finished size 11 inches wide. I'm reading, so sorry. 11 inches wide, 7.5 inches in height, and 4.5 inches in depth. Okay. We used a chain strap, but there are multiple options in the pattern: short strap, long strap. You can sew a strap. You could make like a handle-y strap. You know, you can do your. I'm good. Good today. Handle-y strap. This in the pattern is actually a lock. We used a magnetic snap here, and then 2 more there. And look at the inside of her. She is so cute. Get a zip pocket, a slip pocket, and then just like a big wide open pocket. And yeah, I really wasn't sure about how this bag was going to come together, if I'm being honest. But I'm so pleased with it. It is like such a cool shape. It's definitely an intermediate pattern, I will tell you that. It's not beginner. The cough. I had to cough. The techniques that are used are definitely intermediate level. They're difficult for me. It's not my favorite way to put together a bag. And I do mention, you know, my machine struggles with double-sided tape, and this pattern requires lots of glue / double-sided tape. I do it without that, and so if you also have a machine that really struggles with double-sided tape, you can make this bag. I made it with very minimal double-sided tape. Of course, we used a ton of clippies, and it looks like a hot mess, but we did it. So, stick with me. We'll go through our materials. I will link all the important things below in the description box, including anything that we're using today that I can find. So, it will all be there for you. Just click the see more or the ... more, whatever it is, underneath, right underneath this video, and it'll expand the description box. And definitely make sure that you grab this pattern if this is of interest to you. I have never made a bag quite like this before, and let me tell you, you guys, these little like built-in bag feet, so here for it. It is so cool. It really, really is. Like, what? I was like, what are these little things for? And then we sewed it up, and I'm like, oh my god, that's what those little things are for. So cool. So let's head on over to the machine and get going. Alright, so we are at the machine, which is a Juki TL2010Q. We are using Tex 35 weight thread in the top and the bobbin, and we're using black from Wizardry Stitchery. We have a brand new Microtex 9014 needle, and we're using our tank foot, which if you're looking for it on eBay, I think somebody found one the other day or something like that. The numbers on their side are KT141. It hasn't been available where I purchased it for quite some time, but it's basically a walking foot without the bulk in the back for this machine. Okay, so that's the machine. We've got our bag tag, which we're going to put on the inside. And this was from an Etsy shop. I will have that linked below, as well as some of my favorites and the materials that we're using here today. So, for instance, the needle that I have will be linked below. And then any of the materials that I can link will also be linked below too. So we've got that. We're going to put that to the side for now. We have our 2 D-rings that we're going to use for our handle connectors. And then we're going to use our magnetic snap rivets today. And we're going to actually do this for both what should be the lock and the magnetic snap and the snap sections in the bag, because I wanted to show that if you didn't have a lot of hardware, traditional locks and things like that, you could still make this bag. So we're going to actually close our longer flat piece with a rivet snap as well. So we'll put those to the side for now too. And then we have our interior materials here. So these are our lining pieces. We've got our slip pocket binding, and this is made from our exterior material, and our exterior material came from Your Vinyl Source. And then we've got our zipper overlay, and then all of our lining pieces, which is waterproof canvas in color maroon from Wonderground Fabrics. So I'm going to take all these pieces, and because we're not working on the interior first, going to set those to the side for now as well. And then we do have all of our exterior pieces here, and we have interfaced what we needed to interface, giving a large allowance on the side. And all the decisions that I'm making here are with my machine in mind. This pattern is beautiful, but it's going to be really difficult to make on a domestic machine because the pattern has you using very structured materials, but also the way the pattern is written, you're using a significant amount of double-sided tape or glue. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, you know, I don't know if it's me or what, but my machine does not like double-sided tape, skips stitches all the time. It's really no fun. So we're going to try to avoid double-sided tape at all costs. A lot of the things that I'll do today are a little bit different than in the pattern, but you're going to end up with the same result. But this is just, again, with you in mind. Maybe you have a machine like mine that doesn't do well with double-sided tape, and you're going to need a little extra bits and bobs, and that's what we're going to do today. The only thing that I didn't show you is the zipper that we're going to use today, and that will be a number 5 zipper tape. When we get to that point, we'll definitely take that out. But we're going to start with our D-ring connectors and our side panels. So I'm going to put everything else away, and then we'll come back and work on our connectors. All right. So we've done one already, and we're going to do one together. This is basically what it looks like, and here you can see I'm using clips instead of double-sided tape. But basically this bag just gets sewn all together, and you'll see what I mean. And so every piece of your exterior is going to have to be folded over like this, which is why all that double-sided tape is just not going to work for my machine. So we're going to use clips and hope for the best. But that's that one. So we're going to make this one look like that. Now I do enjoy that the pattern designer puts the markings for where you need to make your slit. So we just took our seam ripper and put a slit right here. We're going to take our D-ring connector, and long ways we're just going to fold it in half, and then we're going to just sew on all 4 sides, actually. 1/8 of an inch away from the side. And like I said, we are going a little out of order. The pattern's going to have you putting double-sided tape on your other panels, but because we're not using double-sided tape, we're going to move right into the sewing piece. I don't have enough clips to clip everything together ahead of time, so we're sort of adapting. And we're just sewing the ends together because it makes it easier. I find when you stick it through the panel, if the ends are together, is that actually easier? I have no idea, but for me it is, so that's what we're doing. All right, so with our wrong side up, we're just gonna stick one end through And then the other. You want this to be a tight fit because you don't want it to come out or your vinyl to continue to rip through or anything like that. So then we're just going to stick our D-ring on, and then we're going to put the other end of our connector through the hole as well. Sort of get that moving and grooving in there. Okay, there we go. There we are, see? Just try to make these sort of as even as possible. Okay, like so. And then we're just going to stitch a line here. Now you have the ability to put a rivet if you'd like. We are actually going to forego rivets. I know, isn't that wild, you guys? Always use the rivets, but not today. We are back stitching. And this is a good amount of vinyl that we're going through here, so just keep that in mind when you're making your choices. What can your machine handle? And you can see we're through. Our connector is in place. All right, so I'm going to go ahead around our edges here. There are measurements in the pattern to follow for how far in to fold your material. So we're going to do that on this one. And you guys, when you get to the corners here, you're going to have to do clips. Okay. And down here, you're going to have to clip up. I will come back on when I get to those corners and those bottoms and show you what I mean. Okay, so when you come to the corners here, you're just snipping, and it does sort of leave it raw, and you just kind of hope it covers it up in the end. And then I'll show you down here. So we're just cutting right into, right up. And that's going to allow this bottom piece to come up where we need it. Already running out of clippies. Okay. And you do the best you can here, you guys. If you have a machine that does double-sided tape, no problem. It's going to be a lot easier for you to make this. All right. Those are good for now. We're going to grab our base panel and attach our sides to our base. All right, so we've gotten our base panel, and again, covered in clips here because we're doing the same exact thing. I have done one side already, but basically this style of bag making is you're turning these edges in on themselves, and then you're just sewing the pieces together. So it's finished edges, as you can see. It's just a different way of sort of putting a bag together if you've never done it like that before. And so basically here on this other side, all we're doing is lining up that panel. And we're just stitching together, and I will show you once I get these connected. Okay. We're just stitching together here in between our sort of long ends and at 1/8 of an inch. And that's that, you guys. So is it difficult? No. But again, this is where you really have to think about your materials and what you're sewing with, what you're using. If you know your machine can't do thick stuff, you're going to want to choose something different and really think about that decaville and what you're using for interfacing. Okay, and there we go. So that's the other side, all set. We're going to set this to the side for now. And next what we're doing is grabbing our back piece. So you can see like that's the bottom of our bag and this is the sides. So we're going to grab our back piece now and our flap overlay. All right, so we've got our back panel piece and we've got our flap overlay, and we've done the same thing here, you guys, that we're doing to all the pieces. We turned them in on themselves, and then this one actually folds in half. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stitch down 1/8 of an inch everything but the folded side. And that is just my foot sort of picking up the material. It sounds like something awful happened, but I promise nothing happened. Also, just like a side note, if you've never got vinyl from your vinyl source, you need to check it out. It sews up so nice. It's kind of wild. I've said this before when I've used it, but I'm just always amazed at how well it sews. It's really impressive. Not all vinyl sews the same. I'm just going to decrease the stitch length a little bit here because I want to get nice and close to that edge, but I don't want to go over. And so if you were using double-sided tape here, you'd be going through 4 layers of vinyl, 2 layers of double-sided tape. There we go. Okay, so that's stitched together. And now the pattern maker gives you the mark, and we are going to use double-sided tape for this, but she gives you the mark for where you want to place your flap overlay. And I've made that mark. You definitely can't see it because I can hardly see it. I just made it with a silver marking tool. And we're going to take that folded edge okay. And we're just going to take this to the sewing machine. We're going to do 1/8 of an inch and then 1/4 of an inch stitch. And here we are sewing through the decaville that's attached to our panel, plus all of our vinyl, so definitely keep that in mind. I know I keep harping on that, but it's just so important to choose the right materials to be successful. Taking my time here. We're taking it nice and slow. I can see the Decaville has gummed up on my needle, which I knew was going to happen. Okay, and we're going to take it and do our 1/4 inch now. Go ahead and clip these off. And there we go. Our flap overlay is attached. We feel good about it. I feel good about it. We're there. We are going to set this to the side for now. We're going to grab our base and side panel combo and our front panel. We're going to put that together first. All right. So we went ahead, took our front panel. We did the same thing. We cut off the corners. We folded it in. I am like so out of clippies, so we're just getting scraps here, but that's okay because we don't actually need to sew this top piece right now. What we need to do is basically stitch on our sides and bottom, and you can see here those corners that we cut, those line up with our other edges. And I didn't show you me clipping because it just looks like a disaster. It looks like a mess right now. But you'll be able to figure this out when you yeah, so you'll be able to figure this out when you sort of do this for yourself, and whether you're using tape or clips or whichever. But basically it just makes it so that we can get around this corner here. So we're going to go ahead and stitch 1/8 of an inch down all the sides that are connected. All right, here we go, guys. We're going to take our time here. Ultimately, this will be a stitch that everybody sees because we're not turning the bag or anything like that. It's literally just stitching final stitches. We'll get a good chunk of our clips back here too, which we're going to need for the back panel. Oh, sure. And I'm just being careful down here at the corners. Want to make sure everything catches appropriately. And we're going to make our pivot across the bottom. It's a little sticky in here, so I think our material's sticking just a little bit. I'm going to grab my screwdriver. I have found the screwdriver to be very helpful. Of course, if you have a stiletto or an actual sewing tool, you know, feel free to use that. Otherwise, the screwdriver to change out your needle and feet is going to work just fine for this. And same thing, we went right to the corner there. Okay, so we can go ahead and trim our threads now. And so you can see now we have a finished edge down here, and it actually, like, it's a really cool effect that you get. Kind of gives it that, like, almost like a floating on the sides effect. All right, so we're gonna grab our back panel now. And I'm gonna go ahead and do all of the folding in on itself, use our clippies and all of that. And I'm gonna stitch it on to our bag the same exact way we just did the front panel. So I'm not gonna show that because it is gonna be, again, exactly the same. And then we'll come back together and make our markings for our snaps and our closures. And then we'll be done with our exterior, you guys. All right, you guys, we got our back on. And let me just tell you, like, look at how cute. How cute is that? Oh, what? I love it. All right. Another thing, again, that I love about the pattern designer is you're getting the markings for where you're going to install your snaps. We're doing rivet snaps, so I'm going to do it off camera, but I'll get them set up for you here. We're going to do not those ones. Gonna do these guys. The female. Like so. And the reason I like these so much is because they're so easy. We're not like taping the prongs or anything like that. You're literally just taking these guys, snapping them on the back like a rivet. Okay? All right, so I'm going to press those. I'm not going to do, oh, maybe I should. I need to make the mark for our flap. The problem is that I've got these clips which are obviously changing the way that our flap is going to sit ultimately, but I think we can sort of guess, right? Can at least put our mark here in the center. We're working this out together. Okay. So we're going to put we're eyeballing center. Looks pretty good to me. And we're just going to take our hole punch. Punch out our hole. Okay, and this would be a male end here. And again, if you're installing a lock, you're going to follow the instructions that are in the pattern. We're not installing a lock, we're using these snaps instead. So because this will snap down right in there, and then on the front, you'll see that. So that's perfect. Then we kind of need to make our mark for where we think this is gonna end up, which again is not easy. But I feel pretty good about that right there. It looks about right. We're gonna go for it. I'm gonna punch this hole off camera too. You won't be able to see me really do that. And then I'm gonna set what we have so far, and then we'll move on to our lining pieces. All right, so we're halfway there. And honestly, we did the hardest half already. So we're going to make sure that you clip your centers in your main lining panels. Main lining panel, there's only one. And we're going to take our slip pocket piece, and this is a piece that you have to cut. There is not a pattern for. And we're just going to put it right sides together. I love doing slip pockets with bindings at the top because they are so easy to put together. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and sew down both sides. There are seam allowances given in the pattern. Okay, we're just going to clip our corners. And then we'll go ahead and turn our slip pocket. Nice easy turn here. Poke out those corners. Okay, so once you feel good about that, just going to go ahead and clip the top. Okay, while we get our binding ready. Okay, and this is easy, you guys. We're just folding this in half to sort of get a center line. Nothing wild here. Taking a little of our exterior and bringing it on in. Okay. Then we'll take our piece. Line it up in the center. And just fold over and reclip. Okay. There we go, and it's going to be longer than we need, and that's okay because we're going to chop it right on off. We're going to go ahead and stitch 1/8 of an inch and then 1/4 inch. I like to do a double stitch at the top of these if possible. I just like the look of it, but it's not necessary. And I do backstitch at the beginning and the end of everything, so definitely something to be mindful of. I am always backstitching. I know some people like to pull stitches. Your girl ain't got time for that. Some people hand sew too, and oh, I gotta give it to you. This is not my vibe. What's my vibe? Alright, we're going to cut off the excess. Make sure everything lines up. Of course, this did not cut straight. Trimming threads here, you guys. All right, I've gone ahead and made a mark where we need to put our pocket. We're just gonna find center. Make a little crease. Okay, and this is where we want to stitch our pocket on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go along the 3 open sides without the binding. Let me just move some of these things off the machine. You can stick this down if you would like. I'm just going to keep it sort of lined up. And just make sure you get a nice back stitch in there at the top. That's where most of your slip pocket gets its use. Its wear and tear sort of comes there at the tops. Okay, and just keeping our pocket straight. And we'll sew across the bottom. And then right back up this side over here. Again, we're just doing that good back stitch. And there we go. Okay, our slip pocket is done, and we're going to go ahead and move to the other side of our lining and work on our zip pocket. Alright, so we've made our marking per the pattern, and here we are going to use double-sided tape. So we're going to grab our zipper overlay, and down the center of all four sides, we're going to stick some double-sided tape. So we do use it, we just try to keep it to a minimum. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and peel off the second side. Always a struggle for me. Okay. And then we're just going to find the center by doing a little crease. We're going to line up with our line and center. Stick it down. And then we're going to stitch around the outside of this box at a 1/8 inch seam allowance. And you can kind of start wherever you want. I'm using black thread, so I'm going to start in the bottom black section. And this zipper overlay does have curved edges, so you will have to sort of maneuver around those curves. I'm just kind of going like one stitch at a time and just walking around those curves. And then we're just gonna go meet right back up to where we started. Okay, we'll clip that. And before we do our zipper, we are going to install our nameplate. So again, I'm just going to grab some double-sided tape here. So we're just stick on the back. Okay. And we just want to center it. We're eyeballing it. Okay. And we'll stitch 1/8 of an inch around that whole thing. Cutting off our tail there so it doesn't interfere with our stitching. And right back to where we started. Locking those stitches in. Now we're good. Okay, nameplate's on. We can finish our zipper, and we're just gonna seam rip right through the center there. Okay, just enough so you can get your scissors in. We're gonna turn it. And we're just taking out the lining pieces that are inside of our stitch box. Does not have to be a perfect cut at all. You'll never see this. Just make sure you don't cut through your zipper facing. All right, and there we go. So see, the back is like wild, front, finished, polished, good. All right, so we've got our 2 zipper pocket pieces. These are cut by measurement also. We have our zipper and our zipper pull. We'll leave our zipper pull to the side for now. We are going to set up our pockets. So, right side is facing up of your panel. Okay? And we're going to stitch it on just like this. Because you want the inside of your pocket to be the nice side. And we're just basting 1/8 of an inch here. then you're going to go ahead and flip your zipper, and same thing. So the right side is up. We're just going to align those sides. Alright, and here's where we're going to come in with some more double-sided tape. Grabbed a new roll. I guess I should have opened it before we came back on. But here we are, you guys, doing this together. What is my problem? I can like see it. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay. Oh, no. So sometimes double-sided tape comes and it's packed the wrong way. So this one is packed the wrong way. Let me grab a different one. All right, it's not good, you guys. They're all packed the wrong way. And packed the wrong way just means like the sticky side is out and the side that needs to be peeled is in, and so it's actually not sticky because it's been out for so long. So we're gonna work with it. We'll do what we can here. Gotta work with what you got sometimes, you know? I'm just gonna line up the double-sided tape right along the edge of our zipper on both sides. Okay, so that's all set. Now we're gonna put our zipper pull on. I like to put my double-sided tape on first so that it just goes on nice and flat, no issues. We're using a number 5 zipper. Is it so bad I don't remember where this red zipper tape came from? Because I don't, and kind of love it. There we go. All right, now from this point, okay, there's a bunch of different ways that you can install this pocket. We're going to follow the way in the pattern. Okay, so I'm pressing our pocket open. All right, we're open, our zipper pull is on. Okay, gonna take off the second part of our double-sided tape. And we're going to take our zipper overlay. We're going to center it as good as possible. And we're going to stick it down. I am going to do this off camera so that I can actually look at it. But we're basically just centering, okay? All right, you guys. We are as good as we're going to get. We're going to go ahead and all at once we're sewing around the entire zipper box at 1/8 of an inch. And we're going to do what we did before. We're going to start at the bottom, and our panels, our zip panels, are still open as we had them, okay? Like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do zipper boxes. There's no right or wrong way, just the way that you choose. And so if you have a way that you prefer, like, you go for that, okay? At the end of the day, we're making a zip box, so if it's something that you know you like to do a certain way, like, go for it. Otherwise, you can try something new. And these are nylon zipper coils, not metal, but I'm still always really careful when I sew over them. Just better safe than sorry, you know. Okay, we're gonna just stop and move our zip pull out of the way here. And then just, again, right back to where we started. There we go. Let's do a quick little trim. All right, so there's our zip box all set. Now we just need to pull down our top pocket piece. Okay. We're gonna just snip away our extra. And then we're going to go ahead and clip these as they are so that we can finish our zip pocket. Move our pull to the center, and with our lining side up, we're going to go ahead and close off our pocket on the remaining 3 sides. Just make sure that you do not sew over your main lining panel here, just sewing your zipper pocket pieces. And I'm just moving this double-sided tape so we don't stitch over it. All right, so we'll just take a quick little peek. Our pocket is now finished, all set. We're just going to trim off our excess zipper tape, and we're going to give it a good burn to stop any of that fraying. Make sure our pocket lasts. Do the same thing on the other side. All right. Just gonna cut these corners also. Don't think it matters, but that's okay. All right, we're gonna grab our flap lining piece now and attach that. So we want our zip pocket to be in the back, and the back is obviously the panel that has the flap. So we're gonna take our flap piece and we're gonna put it right sides together. Oh, your girl did a terrible job cutting. It happens though. It happens. Let me tell you guys. Been not feeling super hot, so I knew this was gonna be, I can feel my voice going. Knew it was gonna be a little bit of a struggle. That's all right. All right, we're gonna attach this with the seam allowance given in the pattern. Okay, and then we want our seam allowance to go down towards the main panel. And we're going to top stitch on the main panel on our seam allowance. I'm just making sure that everything is where we want it to be as we move across. There we go. All right, you guys, so the next step is to go ahead and grab our magnetic snap rivets. And this time we're looking for 2 male ends. Two caps. And again, there are markings on the pattern for this. I've also put holes in some scrap Decaville to give some stability and structure. Okay, so these will close like this. So we want our male pieces on the right side of our lining. So we're just going to go ahead and set those, and then we're going to move to our side panel pieces for our interior. All right, we have our side panels, and we've marked the mark for the pattern. Again, we're doing some fold over here, so we're just going to fold over those top edges. To the outsides or the wrong sides. And you're just folding down to that line. And this is because we're doing a drop-in lining here, and we need to make sure we have some finished edges. So we're going to take one of our lining panel pieces and we're going to match up our center markings. And we're going to clip. And this is obviously right sides together. This side will be folded down the same. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Again, this will create that finished edge for us. So folding to that line to the wrong side of our panel. Okay, so then we're going to match up our tops. And then we're just going to ease our way into that corner. As best we can. So it won't really be anything that somebody sees, so not a super huge deal. And then right up to the top, we're stitching over here and flip together. Oh gosh. Clip difficulties, you guys. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at here. So that's what the inside will look like. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stitch this together. Using the seam allowance given in the pattern. And like I said, this is the lining, so it's not such a huge deal. Not as big of a deal as the outside, for sure. Okay, and we're just pivoting now to go across the bottom. Sort of just keeping what's in front of us all set as we go. All right, and we'll just take a look from the inside so you can see what it looks like. Good to go. Looks perfect. All right, so we're gonna let that be. I'm gonna go ahead and attach the second side exactly the same way. All right, so we have both sides sewn on. And if you are wondering what comes next, it's final construction, baby. All right, so we're gonna take our exterior, we're gonna put our interior inside. We're gonna do the easy bits first. And the easy bits are just really connecting our side panels and our front. So I'm basically just gonna take our clips and just incorporate one into the other. All right, so once we've clipped all of that together, the only other thing that we have to do, and I am gonna do this a little bit with you, but mostly off camera, we're just gonna go ahead and take our fabric for our flat panel, and we're going to basically fold it over. Again, that's kind of the name of the game here, folding everything over. And we're incorporating that into our clips. And this is how we're finishing off our bag. So we're going to need to do the corner clips here. Again, we're going to clip everything though, then we'll do that. We'll see where we're at. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just get these corners all set, all tucked in, cut away if necessary, and clipped in, and then we'll be able to get ourselves going here on our final stitch. All right, you guys, we're all clipped in, ready to get sewing. I did check my bobbin. It says to start on the flap, and I don't know like where on the flap to start. I don't know you guys. So we're gonna start here in the corner. We're just gonna go for it. So this is putting all of our pieces together. This is our last step. We are not making a strap in this video, We're going to use a strap that we have already on hand. I'm going to do my best to show you, but also there might be some moments where I need to pivot. Okay, looks like we're getting to the side now, so let me see if I can, okay. All right, so far so good here, you guys. Just make sure our D-ring connector is out of the way. We're gonna go one stitch at a time. Just gonna keep kind of checking, see what's going on. Top stitches always give me anxiety. You know, you're like worked so hard in a bag and you just want to get it to the finish line. So we're just going to keep taking our time here. And I'm just rotating the bag sort of as we go. Excuse me, guys. Okay, and we're coming to like a pretty thick section, it seems like. Alright, we're just going to go for that. See what happens. And I am totally aware that you're having trouble seeing right now. I get it. I'm also having trouble seeing right now. We'll get there together. Okay, and again, we're just continuing to sort of move things out of our way as we go. We're smushing. And right now I'm just trying to get our seam to go the same way on the front panel as we did on the other side. Making sure our D-ring is out of the way. Definitely don't want to go over that. And we're almost back at our flap actually already. So that's exciting. We're almost to our pivot point, and then the flap is pretty simple once we get there. Going around the bag was the hard part. And so now we're going to go ahead and pivot. Sorry guys, full concentration mode. And right back to where we started. All right, we're gonna give this a nice little once over, and then we're gonna head on over to the finish table to take a look at our completed bag. All right, we just clipped our strap on and we went with a chain strap. And here she is, you guys, all finished. Obviously, we've got that deckable in there so we can work our flat piece and sort of mold it however we would like once we get there. We just pulled her off the machine though. So here she is, freshly finished. I love that the flap is one piece. Such a big fan of that. It's not something that you had to sew on. And then of course we've got our zip pocket in here, our slip pocket up front, and our main pocket. Just a fun bag, you guys. Like something cute to carry, special occasion, every day. You can make this out of tons of different materials and sort of really change like the event, the look, what you're going for. Obviously we use this vinyl sort of like plaid red. I feel like this is a great going out bag. I'm here for it. I like it. All right. My voice has about had it. We're having some coughing fits here that I'm trying to keep off camera for you. So we're going to give my voice a break. Again, this is the Amelia Bag by Divine Fash Clothing. It is new. The pattern will be in the description box below. Definitely grab it if you're interested. It is, like I said, a really cool design. One that I think you'll enjoy if you're an intermediate or advanced sewer. I hope that you liked this tutorial and this video. Thank you so much for joining me and sticking with me through this awful cold. You all being here with me makes me feel better. So I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.